hydrogen planes have made their first 15-minute flight. This is super clickbaity because they actually only did it with one engine. So the aviation industry has been, exploring these cleaner fuel alternatives to reduce carbon emissions, and hydrogen fuel cells have been one of the most promising of those technologies for powering planes. So the cells have a couple advantages over traditional fossil fuels. One of those being zero emissions, as we just stated, lower noise levels, and reduced maintenance costs. It's actually quite a bit cheaper to run these since you're basically only using water, and maintenance is next to nothing because you're just spinning an electric motor basically using this. So with a fuel cell built from plug power, an electric motor built by, I think it's magnets. I'm not really sure. Magnets? I'm not really sure. It's a little confusing. But the power plant is the largest ever to take to the sky. However, it is only installed on the left side of the aircraft, while a standard Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine was fitted to the right for safety of flight. So clearly not fully trusting these engines yet to not give out or have an issue. And on top of that, hydrogen is only about a quarter of energy density of regular jet fuel. So you need a lot more of it to go from A to B. That's going to end up being more weight, which reduces what you can take for cargo, which for some flight things is going to be a problem. So despite the promising results, there's still some challenges to overcome. Like, for say, having two engines, not just one. In order to make them a viable option for commercial aviation, you're going to need hydrogen storage, you're going to need refueling infrastructure. You're going to need a lot. You're going to need places that make the hydrogen so you have enough of it. And then the refueling infrastructure is a major thing because you're going to need that at every airport that this airplane plans on going to. Now, this plane, it was called the Delta 8. It also was with Delta-8, I believe. Hang on, I'm pulling it up. I can't remember now. The Dash 8 commuter plane is what this was. And that was a 40-seat Dash 8 commuter plane. And it only did 15 minutes on that engine. So, well, it was really cool. The engine looks cool. It's still in the piloting, but it's coming. Someday, maybe it will be here. So, potential benefits and drawbacks, use of this hydrogen fuel cells to power airplanes. I do think that we're going to see battery and electric motors probably take off before hydrogen ever gets a chance to. It's just going to be so much easier to build the infrastructure for charging and maybe just doing battery swaps on planes. I think that'll just be what makes it there first with how efficient electric motors are. It just seems like that's where things will go if we can keep up with battery demand between all the new devices that are moving to being electrically powered. So how do they compare with alternative fuels? Again, hydrogen's just not very energy dense. There's where do you fill up? There's a lot to figure out infrastructure wise on how that's all going to work together. And it's just not there yet. So it's impossible to adopt these new technologies when you don't have access to them versus every airport has electricity. Every airport can be pretty quickly fitted out to be able to be used with an electric plane. Quite a bit easier to get there versus hydrogen. And how long will hydrogen really stay here? Jet fuel's been around forever. Hydrogen versus electricity, electricity is just going to win that out. So how important is it for airlines or aircraft manufacturers to adopt sustainable technologies like hydrogen? I think it's very important. I think it's important that we keep moving this direction, but at the same time, there's other more correct ways to do it. So with that said, thanks for watching this week's episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one.